Close your eyes, just for a moment. Take a gentle breath, and imagine yourself standing alone beneath a sky of infinite silence. There are no answers here, no signs, just stillness. A deep, wide, cosmic pause. And perhaps, in this moment of stillness, a question rises in you. Why is nothing happening? Why does everything feel suspended, like the world forgot about me? You're not alone in this feeling. There are moments in every sacred life where the surface appears motionless, where the waves seem to have stopped, and where no doors seem to open. No light appears to break through the cracks. But what if I told you? This stillness is not empty. This silence is not neglect. What if this moment, this aching pause, is part of a higher orchestration? You see, there are seasons within the soul that resemble the quiet before a symphony. The room is dark. The musicians are silent. The conductor has not raised his hand. And yet, everything is about to begin. Right now, the universe is preparing something for you. Not just around you, but through you, in you, with you. And the very fact that you re-listening to this means you already being called into alignment with something you cannot yet name. Maybe you've lost something, or someone. Maybe you've faced a season of grief so profound that it stripped away who you thought you were. Maybe all the plans you made dissolved, and now you're left in a space you never asked to be in, uncertain, waiting, wondering. This space, this in-between, it is not punishment. It's preparation. As Dr. Bruce Lipton teaches, the environment around our cells determines the expression of our genes. In other words, your biology listens, not just to the world outside, but to the beliefs, feelings, and vibrations within. And so, when the universe begins preparing something new for you, your inner world must shift first. Your beliefs must stretch. Your heart must soften. Your nervous system must find safety again. Your energy must make space for the new frequency to emerge. This is why nothing seems to be happening, because the most powerful transformations are invisible. They occur beneath the surface, like the caterpillar melting inside the cocoon. From the outside, it looks like stillness. But inside, everything is dissolving and reforming. You are in a cocoon of your own awakening, and the mind, desperate for answers, impatient for timelines, cannot grasp what the soul already knows. This delay is divine. Carl Jung wrote, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain, and often, pain is the doorway." The universe doesn't just send us gifts. It forges us to become the kind of person who can carry them. Alan Watts spoke of life not as a journey from point A to B, but as music, a dance, where the meaning is not in the destination, but in the unfolding of each note, each pause, each breath. So if you are here, in this sacred stillness, know this: the silence you feel is not the end. It is the beginning. The invisible is more alive than you think, and your life, though it may feel uncertain, is not off course. It is aligning, shifting, preparing. The universe is already in motion. And now it's asking you to become still enough, quiet enough to hear what's arriving. Because what's coming is not something you chase. It's something you remember, something you receive, something that's always been yours. Are you ready to see it now? There is a moment in every symphony, just before the first note is played, when the entire hall holds its breath. The instruments are still. The audience is silent. The air itself seems to pause, as if the universe is waiting for something sacred to begin. You may be in that moment now, that space in life where nothing is wrong in obvious terms, but nothing feels fully alive either, where you wake with a quiet ache, a longing without a name, and wonder if your soul has been forgotten by whatever force governs this great mystery of existence. But let us reframe that ache, not as a signal of absence, but as evidence of preparation. Because the most powerful movements in the universe begin in stillness. The stars do not explode into being with noise. They are born in the silent density of ancient clouds. The tree does not scream when it bursts from the seed. Its roots stretch invisibly through soil, patiently anchoring the future, and your becoming is no different. Joe Dispenza teaches that our brains are not just records of the past, they are prediction machines, forecasting our future based on emotional familiarity. So when your life feels stalled, when everything external seems still, what is truly happening is an inner negotiation between the identity you've been known and the vibration of who you are becoming. This is the silence before the symphony. It's a space that demands courage, not action, stillness, not striving, and trust, not timelines. Many people fear this space. They fill it with noise, distractions, false urgency, or spiritual bypassing. They rush to manifest, to fix, to escape, But what if this silence is not meant to be escaped? What if it is meant to be inhabited with reverence? Alan Watts reminds us that we do not come into this world, we come out of it. You are not a visitor here, but a living extension of universal intelligence. And so, when you feel called to withdraw, to go inward, to shed, it's not regression, it's resonance. You're responding to a deeper rhythm, one that prepares you for the next note, Carl Jung described this space as the night sea journey, a time when the ego dissolves and the deeper self begins to emerge. It's disorienting, it's raw, but it's sacred. Jung also taught that symbols guide the soul when words fail. And so, imagine this. You are a violin, crafted carefully over time, but never fully tuned. You've been played, but not yet with precision or passion. Now, something is changing. The strings are being adjusted. The wood is resonating, and you can feel the tension increasing, but not yet the music. This tension is necessary, because without tension, the string makes no sound. Without resistance, there is no resonance. And so the silence you feel, this strange and sacred stillness, is where your soul is being tuned to match the next movement in your life. Greg Braden speaks often of coherence, the harmonious alignment between the heart and brain, He says that when we cultivate inner stillness, we become more sensitive to guidance, more receptive to miracles. This is not superstition. It's science. HeartMath research confirms that the heart's electromagnetic field is thousands of times stronger than the brain. And when your heart is in a state of peace, your entire body enters a new biological harmony. You become receptive. So this silence you feel, this waiting, is not about punishment or delay. It's about coherence, Your body, your brain, your beliefs, they're all tuning to a new frequency. One that will allow you not only to see what's coming, but to hold it with grace. And yet, even in knowing this, there will be days when you doubt. When fear whispers, what if nothing's coming? What if the silence means it's over? But I offer you this instead. What if the silence means it's beginning? Remember, no symphony begins with a roar. It begins with a breath. A moment of still, invisible alignment, the music. And you, dear listener, are in that sacred breath. So do not rush to fill this space. Do not panic in the pause. Instead, breathe, tune, listen, because the next movement in your life will not come from effort. It will come from resonance. The universe is not late. It is precise. It is preparing. And so are you, Have you ever noticed a symbol, a phrase, or a number repeating in your life, and felt a strange chill down your spine? Have you ever thought of someone, and then they called you moments later? Or perhaps a book fell from a shelf, containing the exact words your heart needed to hear. Some call it coincidence, others divine timing. But beneath the surface of logic, there is a language far older than words, and synchronicity is one of its purest dialects. Carl Jung, who first defined the term synchronicity, believed these meaningful coincidences were not accidents, but glimpses into the invisible fabric that binds consciousness and cosmos. He wrote, "Synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see. These moments, uncanny, mysterious, and often dismissed, are not random. They are echoes, messages, whispers from the invisible realm of potential, reaching through the veil to remind you, you are not walking alone. Neville Goddard taught that the outer world is a mirror of your inner state. When your thoughts, emotions, and imagination align with a new possibility, the universe responds, not with fireworks, but with quiet confirmations. Subtle alignments, moments that nudge your attention, pull your awareness, and open a window into something higher. Let's return for a moment to the silence before the symphony. Imagine that during that silence, you begin to notice strange harmonies in your environment. A bird calls at the exact moment a thought rises. A stranger repeats a phrase you've been silently pondering. A song plays with lyrics that speak directly to your current struggle. This is the universe tuning you in. You are not hallucinating meaning, you are perceiving it. Because as your inner frequency shifts, your outer perception expands. You begin to see what was always there, hidden in plain sight, like a melody you couldn't hear until you tuned your heart to its key. David Bohm, a physicist deeply interested in consciousness, spoke of the implicate order, a dimension of hidden wholeness that underlies all reality. To him, the visible world was like the surface of the ocean, but beneath it lay currents, structures, patterns that connect everything in silence. Synchronicities arise from that ocean. They are the ripples on the surface of something vast and unseen, moving underneath. Greg Braden calls this the divine matrix, a conscious field that connects all things. When you hold a coherent thought or emotion, you begin to influence that field. Not control it, but dance with it. And this dance is not choreographed by logic. It's moved by alignment, intuition, feeling. Have you noticed that the more present you become, the more synchronicities appear? It's not magic. It's coherence. Your awareness becomes a tuning fork, resonating with what you need to see. And the universe, responsive and alive, speaks back. Synchronicities often arrive when you are closest to a breakthrough, but doubting yourself the most. They are a form of divine encouragement. Not answers, but confirmations. They say, yes, keep going. You're not lost, you're awakening. What you're seeking is seeking you too. And so, instead of dismissing these signs, what if you welcome them? What if you spoke to the universe, not with desperation, but with intimacy? Florence Scovel Shinn once wrote, "Intuition is a spiritual faculty and does not explain, but simply points the way. So let yourself be guided, not by logic, but by the quiet alignment of resonance. Look for what repeats, what stirs your heart, what opens your breath, and ask, what is life showing me here? Because you are not disconnected. You are deeply embedded in a living intelligence that loves to communicate through patterns, metaphors, and mystery. Synchronicity is its love language. Its subtle reminder that everything is connected, not just in theory, but in the living, breathing unfolding of your day. And here's what's even more miraculous. The more you notice synchronicity, the more it begins to multiply. Why? Because attention is a form of activation. What you acknowledge with presence grows stronger in your field of awareness. And slowly, the line between the inner and outer begins to dissolve. You realize it was never separate. You were never abandoned. You are always part of the conversation. So today, if you are hearing this, and your life feels fragmented, uncertain, adrift, open your eyes wider. Listen not with your ears, but with your soul. Because the universe is whispering to you in every pattern, every moment, every encounter, ... And if you choose to listen, truly listen, you may discover that what you've been praying for has already started responding. What if I told you that what you're waiting for is not something you need to earn, chase, or prove yourself worthy of? What if it was already yours? Imagine a child lost in a garden, searching desperately for a key to unlock a gate, only to realize hours later the gate was never locked. The key was always in their pocket, ... And the garden was never closed to begin with. That child is you. That gate is the door to your own becoming. And the universe is not hiding your blessings. It's simply waiting for you to remember they were never outside of you. Neville Goddard taught, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. He believed that reality does not create feeling. Feeling creates reality, ... This means the moment you align your inner state with the version of life you desire, you begin to receive what already belongs to you vibrationally. Receiving is not passive. It is not sitting and hoping. It is embodiment. It is acceptance. It is the moment when your frequency says, I no longer chase this. I am this. Joe Dispenza takes this further with neuroscience. He teaches that when you feel gratitude for something that hasn't happened yet, your brain doesn't know the difference, ... It begins wiring itself to match that reality now. And this is the secret. You receive not when it arrives, but when you become the one who can hold it. So the pain you've endured, the silence you've sat in, the long nights of surrender, they were not punishment. They were preparation. They were tuning your nervous system, rewriting your energetic blueprint, so that when the moment came, you wouldn't reject the very thing you asked for. Let us be honest. How many times in your life did a gift arrive? A love, an opportunity, a moment of grace, and you couldn't fully receive it, not because it wasn't good enough, but because something inside you still whispered, I'm not ready. I don't deserve this. But now, you are becoming ready. Now you are remembering. Receiving is not an act of luck. It's the final breath in a long process of becoming. Ram Dass said, the quieter you become, the more you can hear ... And in that quiet, you begin to hear the voice of the universe say, you are safe to open now. You are safe to receive. And what does that look like? It looks like listening to your intuition and actually trusting it. It looks like honoring the peace you feel, even when your mind says, this doesn't make sense. It looks like resting without guilt, celebrating without fear of loss, loving without guarding your heart ... Because here's the paradox. The more you surrender, the more the universe delivers. Not because you gave up, but because you got out of the way. The ego resists grace. It tries to earn what was meant to be received. But your soul, it remembers. It knows that the thing you long for is not separate from who you are. It knows that your desires are not empty fantasies. They are echoes of your soul as blueprint ... Rudolf Steiner wrote about the etheric body, a subtle energetic layer that holds memory beyond time. Within it lies every intention you've carried across lifetimes, every truth that belongs to you. And when the time is right, that etheric memory begins to awaken. And when it does, life begins to reflect it. Suddenly, what was hard feels easeful. What was distant feels near. And you don't just get what you wanted. You remember why you wanted it in the first place ... Because you were never meant to chase it. You were meant to become it. Alan Watts reminded us that the goal of life is not to reach some final destination, but to fully engage with the present moment as if it were a dance, not a task. So now, you are being asked to dance with what's arriving, not to grip it, not to analyze it, but to feel it, and to allow your body, your breath, your thoughts to say yes. Yes, I am ready. Yes, I trust this timing. Yes, I remember who I am ... Because when you reach that inner yes, the outer world responds, not out of obligation, but out of resonance. Receiving is not the end. It is the return. The return to the truth that nothing real is ever lost, and everything meant for you circles back again and again until you are ready to hold it. So breathe, soften, and let go of the belief that you must do more to deserve what is already circling you. You are not just being blessed, you are becoming the blessing ... And now, the symphony begins. So now, we've walked together through the silence, through the mysterious alignment of synchronicity, and through the sacred act of remembering how to receive. You've been listening, not just with your ears, but with your soul. And that changes everything. Because something deep within you, something ancient, quiet, and wise, is awakening. Maybe for the first time in a long time, you are beginning to understand the waiting was not a punishment. It was a preparation. The delays were not denials. They were initiations. The universe was not ignoring you. It was speaking in its native language: silence, alignment, resonance, trust. And now, as you sit here with your heart more open than when you began, I want to offer you a truth that is not easy to hold, but is utterly liberating. You were never separate from what you were seeking. Not for a moment. It was never about chasing something outside ... It was about clearing space inside. Space for truth to land. Space for grace to enter. Space for love, for purpose, for clarity to find you. Not because you hunted them down, but because you finally stopped running from yourself. Alan Watts once said, "You are the universe experiencing itself." And if that's true, then everything that is preparing itself for you is also you preparing to meet it. So let's take one final step together, a sacred, gentle practice to anchor all we've explored ... You don't need anything fancy, just presence, just breath, just the willingness to believe that something beautiful is already unfolding. A simple neuro-spiritual practice, the sacred receiving. Find stillness. Sit or lie down in a place where you feel safe. Close your eyes, let your shoulders drop, let your breath soften, and bring your awareness into your heart. Visualize the door. Imagine in front of you a beautiful old door. Not a door of effort, but of energy ... You don't need to force it open. It already is. And behind it is the life that's been preparing itself for you. The peace, the love, the clarity, the return of your own self. Step through in feeling. Now imagine stepping through that door. What does it feel like to already have become the version of yourself who receives? Let that feeling grow in your body, in your chest, your spine, your breath. Let it spread, not in fantasy, but in remembrance ... Because this version of you already exists in the quantum field, in the mind of the divine. And the more you feel it, the more you align with it. Gratitude as frequency. Now, breathe gratitude into your heart. Not as a thank you for someday, but as a deep cellular thank you for what's already done. Because in the quantum, it is. Affirm with soul. Repeat slowly, within or aloud. I am ready to receive what is already mine. I remember who I am. I trust the timing of my life ... Stay here for a few more breaths. Let the frequency settle in. Let it root. And when you're ready, open your eyes. This is your return. Not to a version of life that was missing, but to the part of you that stopped believing you were worthy of it. The universe is not preparing something out there. It's awakening something in here. And now you are ready to see it, to feel it, to become it. So as you move through your day, your week, your life, watch the signs, notice the patterns, feel the resonance, and walk forward with the quiet knowing what is meant for me is already on its way, and I am ready to receive it.